Hello friends, and welcome again to Senior Art Strokes. I'm Angel Mercado. Today we're going to be doing another exercise to practice our muscle memory, because we cannot forget the importance of being able to make lines, straight lines, either horizontal lines or vertical lines. The more you practice this, the more successful you will be later on with your sketches. And of course, we're going to be doing curves later on and circles. But I want you to pay close attention to something that I done in this sketch. As I was adding tone to the paper, charcoal to the paper on my vertical lines, I went a little bit, the pressure wasn't even all over the place, and I applied too much pressure in some areas. And you're going to see that as I try to smudge the charcoal into the paper with my thumb, those lines, they stay there. So this is a good lesson for you to see what happens when you apply. Really, it's not a whole lot of difference, but it was enough to get those lines there and then there to stay. You cannot get rid of them. So pay attention to that. And what we're trying to do today is a little beach scene, breezy, choppy waters, and you will see one or two sailboats into the scene. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. Please give me a thumbs up if you would. Share this with some other friends if you know somebody who is looking for this. Like I try to do this for the person who is just beginning, for the person who has a little bit of shaky hands, and because most of my drawings like this don't require a lot of precision. So enjoy the journey. Practice. Don't worry about being too perfect right now. All you want to do is just keep that muscle memory, just build it. Just always practice this, almost daily if you can. So enjoy the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Other exercise. What we're going to do, remember, we're trying to build our muscle memory. So we're going to go on straight lines. Just do the best you can from left to right, and try to finish about the same place. It doesn't have to be precise, but just do the best you can, and also keep it smooth. Here I'm showing you the movement comes from the shoulder to the elbow, from the elbow to the tip of the charcoal. So we'll go all the way to the bottom, and like I said, try to apply the same amount of pressure if possible. I'm not very precise either, so don't worry about that. Now once that we have reached the bottom, we will go up. So we're applying more charcoal, darken it more, and once we reach the top, and now that we have reached the top, we are going to draw the vertical lines. And again, just take your time, just try to do your best. It's difficult to be smooth all the time, so you're not going to be perfect, so don't worry about that right now. You just keep on practicing. The more we practice this, the better it gets. I have a little bit faster now. It's not that I'm moving my arm faster, but I decided to speed it up a little bit so it won't be so boring for you to watch every single move going so slow. It will take forever. So now that I'm reaching the end, there. Now I'm going to go again from the bottom and go left to right, and this time I'm kind of trying to smoothen it the surface just by going back and forth with the same charcoal. You can do that. Try to make it smoother. And here we had to we're trying to do a beach scene where it's a little bit breezy, and we're going to have a sailboat in the picture, one or two sailboats. So you don't have to be very, very perfect. Again, I'm showing you, try to remind you that the movement from the elbow to the tip of the charcoal is just one movement. Now with my finger that has been dry, just make sure it's dry, free of oils, you can just blend the charcoal into the paper. This will go into the tooth of the paper, making it more stable. And just do a little general sweep across. If you notice, I left a little area there as darker because that's going to be the water. So we don't need to worry about that because we're going to go darker over that. Here I need to reshape and sharpen the pencil or my charcoal, so I'm using a little bit of a sandpaper. I have sandpaper there, and everything that I use, all the sandpaper powder, the charcoal powder, will stay there, and I can use that for later applications. Then we'll cover that in a different video. Now, as you can see, I'm going darker, and I'm skipping some areas. That way we can show that the water is moving, and creating a little wave just to identify where the water and the sand of the beach meets. Now I'm trying to straighten up the horizon line. Once that's done, I'm going to grab my kneaded eraser and create another tip to start creating or drawing the waves in the water. Don't need to put a lot of pressure, just go fairly light. You'll see how much you need to take some of the charcoal off, and this practice will tell you how much pressure you need to add. And at the same time, I'm just going with short strokes. Always the strokes are going straight across, just to create the illusion that the water is moving. That's why we do it. We do it kind of like in broken strokes, all the way to the top, just about. And if you notice, when I did the wave that's going to meet the sand, the shoreline is in a little angle. Also, that will give you another illusion of depth, as if you make it just flat. And just take your time, just see where you need it. No big rush. In some areas you might have to go a couple or 3 times if you want to make it brighter. So, and always reshaping the eraser just to get a fresh tip. And here it's a little bit sharper, and I'm going to start creating the sails of a sailboat. You can see how easy it is to lift. It doesn't take much, and you can before you can start drawing the sail of the boat. I will get another piece of clean eraser before I go over again, and now you're going to start seeing it's going to start getting brighter. You see a well-defined edge there, and already it's going to start taking the shape and making the illusion that this is moving water, like it's a breezy day and it's a little bit of choppy water. Now I get going back to the charcoal to create the whole of the boat part, and also I'm going to start creating more highlights in the water where it might be the water might be, being reflected by the sunlight. With the charcoal, now we're going to go and start applying darker lines, not just to the boat but also to the bottom of the highlights. Always make sure you do these lines at the bottom of the highlights of the waves. That way it gives the illusion that the upper part of the wave is being hit, by sunlight. And by doing it at the bottom, you can see where the wave, ends and the water begins. Here around the shoreline, a little bit darker because it's wet sand, so it's going to be darker than the rest of the sand. And just add, as many marks as you think is necessary. Now pick up the eraser again, and we're going to start creating birds, just making birds at the distance. And remember, most of the time these birds are far away, so you're going to see only dots of brightness up against the darker sky. So you don't really need to be that precise showing a bird, perfect bird, because if you do it, then that bird will become the point of attraction and it will bring the bird too close to the viewer, and it's not going to look right. Whereas here you can see that some birds are flying way off the distance. Now I'm going to go back after reshaping or getting a nice clean piece of eraser and put another little sailboat at far away, much smaller of course because it's very far away from us. So just an indication and just another reason for you to practice this just drawing with the eraser. And now just put in little details like a little shadows under the wings of some birds and center at the distance. They don't have to be well defined, so they will read a little bit like they will read right. And from here we're going to grab the eraser again, and we're going to blend a little bit of the shoreline. And here we're just coming to the end just to make it look a little bit smoother and more finished. I hope you enjoy this exercise. Please try it over and over if you have to. There's no reason why you have to be in a hurry or just try only once. The more you do it, the more you will get the feel for it, and the happier you will be with your final sketches. So I hope you really will practice this. Now I'm doing some up and down strokes here because the water, is moving, so it creates the illusion of movement again. Well, till next time.